What's going on, everybody? My name is Brian Matthews. I am your host for Psychologics. And today's topic, kind of carrying off last week's hot topic. Last week, I told you last week this was going to be controversial, but y'all didn't believe me. Y'all like, nah, Brian, it's not going to be controversial. We hear this in the news, until I gave you a different perspective. Once I spun it around in a way that makes you think about it differently, because we call that what? Psychologics. That's right, psychologics. Anyway, I sat there and told you, and I said it. And if you don't believe me, go back to the podcast and listen. I said, that's a win for us, but it's a loss for us, because every time the black community wins one, we lose two. So let me put it to you this way, and I'm not joking, I'm being dead serious. Check this out. I had some pretty good conversations. I really did, and I thought they were empowering. I never take anything that anyone says as antagonistic. It can be, and you really can't tell on how a person is presenting themselves or their statement through just words, unless somebody verbalizes it or does the video. And sometimes if somebody's yelling, you can probably hear the intensity in what their point may be, but you really can't tell if they're being sarcastic or not. But to me, in certain word phrases that you say may tend to be sarcastic. So this is one of the conversations that I had last week in reference to the podcast that I did about the Geiger. That's the Geiger. She got a funny name, the Geiger case. This is how it starts off. BS. Let's talk about OJ's premeditated murder, that he walked away from it. Happens on both sides, and people choose to see what they want. And I said, you know what? That's a pretty good statement. I said, that's fair to say from someone that's looking at it from their perspective. So I return with, that is true. It does happen on both sides when they have money and when money is involved. However, statistics will show that more blacks receive longer and harder sentences. It's also a fact that we dare to go down that rabbit hole. How many times do you hear about blacks dying in custody and no charges brought to the police? You know, we're not talking about just a well-whooped ass. We're talking about people literally dying in police custody, whether being apprehended and choked, I can't breathe, or they get found hung in jail. These are facts, people. These are facts. These are things that I'm throwing back at you. But I think that he was, full of emotion. I think he was full of emotion, and maybe my retort wasn't what he expected, because I kind of came back with some more facts. So he replied like this: you can go down 10,000 paths to the left or 10,000 paths to the right, and you see people get treated unfairly on both sides. I choose not to do the picking game, as we call it, the picking game. Each and every situation should be looked at individually and addressed with common sense. Okay, I'm like, okay, I got you, bruh. Yeah, you sound like you lock and loaded. Yeah, I got your 9mm ready to go ahead and bloop, bloop. And I don't mean physically, or I don't mean that. I mean metaphorically. You get your guns loaded, ready. Get your pistols up. If you're on the audio aspect of this podcast, I was throwing my pistol up signal, but no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about, he's digging and getting ready for a fight, and I'm like, okay, all right, I got you, but see, I'm an M249 light machine gun, so when I come at you, I'm not coming at you like boop boop boop, I'm coming at you with the rocking and rolling. So I came back with, everyone has their position. One-on-one debates can run on, but based on my last video and facts that I have presented, unless you can refute everything that I said factually, let's just leave it at agree to disagree. Silence. Drop the mic. It was over. And because, like I said, a debate has to be presented. When you present your side of the debate, have to be presented with facts, not feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions. This is one thing, and my wife kind of throws it back on me now because I don't got to have to do it again. So when she would say something, she would say it loud. And I was like, babe, saying it loud does not make your point any more valid. And so now I've gotten the habit of like getting animated when I say my stuff or whatever. She's like, you're so loud. I said, well, you made me to be this way because this is where we communicate. This is how we have our debates. It just gets loud. So now she's throwing it back on me. I'm feeling like a JA. So it's funny. But I did tell you, I did say, believe me when I say this, I did say that when the black community wins one, we lose two. This is as of last Friday. Joshua Brown, 28, who was a victim of Botham Jean's neighbor, who is a victim, he's also Botham Jean's neighbor, was shot to death Friday night in an ambush outside his apartment in Dallas neighborhood, according to the police. No suspects have been arrested in the slaying. To have a key witness in that case, surely after the sentencing, gets smoked at his own spot, his own outside his house, ambushed. Does that not seem kind of, I don't know, does that seem a little bit suspicious? Doesn't that seem like, yo, this is straight out of a movie? That's what it feels like to me, right? And y'all remember what I said about fiction? Because fiction is based on some form of realism, something true. Something had to spark that. And I'm not talking about little demons and stuff like that and apples across your chest or whatever. I'm not talking about that. That is straight up imagination. But we're talking about when you start talking about gangster stuff, like police corruption, when you start talking about, how like the CIA be offing people, right? That's what we're talking about. That's based on something. Somebody came out somewhere with the blurred screen. Come on. I was involved in the killing in Afghanistan. Those people right there. No, that was kind of funny. But seriously, this is crazy. This is so freaking crazy. But I told you. I warned y'all. I warned you. When we win, we lose. Only thing I can say is this, can we attribute this to gun violence? Because believe it or not, what I was just talking about isn't the main point of discussion today. No. So check this out. Javier Altore was nabbed in Kansas City, Missouri with the help of the city's police. The FBI and the Federal Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, according to Kansas City, Kansas police. So, for those who didn't know, there was a shooting in Kansas City. It was in a primarily Hispanic bar. So the first thing you think is, oh shoot, the white folks went there and shut that spot up. Not a hate crime, but as you heard I said, Javier Alatorre. So it was, brown on brown crime. So basically, there was two assailants. One got caught, and one, I think his name is Hugo Villanueva Morales, who should be considered armed and dangerous. He's on the loose. He's on the run. He's going for the border. He's heading out. I'm pretty sure he's going for the border. Why not? That's. I'm pretty sure he's running for the border because bottom line is this. He is, well, I can't say that because I've seen plenty of black and Hispanic people get away with murders for years and years. So he might be running for the border because they didn't really put out a picture we looked at unless his boy sells him out. Now, this boy's a snitch, and we know how we feel about snitches. Snitches get stitches. But if his boy is a snitch, then yeah, he might get caught up. But they have his name. Pretty sure they have some other information about it. But you would think, because my position, I am still a pro-gun. You would think that after the shooting in Dallas, and now we have a shooting here in Kansas City. And oh, by the way, as of this morning, there was a shooting here in San Antonio at North Star Mall. Guy got shot in the stomach. You would think that I would be like pro-gun, take them away type guy. No. I am still all about give me my gat. I don't want a bat. I want my gat. I got two dogs, but you know what? You and your dog both go out on a stretcher, a la Ice Cube. So, no, I'm still all about holding them guns, and I'm not about the gun control thing. I'm still not about the gun control. I'm just like this. You're going to take my gun away. What I'm going to do, you're not going to take the bad guy's gun away because he's going to be like giving you the middle finger like this. I'm not giving the middle finger, but he's giving you the middle finger and say, you know what, please, Take their guns away because I'm about to jack this fool. What I'm going to do with my slingshot like David and Goliath? Oh, pow! I got you, I got you. Whoop, the miss. I'm down. That doesn't make any sense. So I am still not against gun control. I'm not about it. I don't believe it. Now ask yourself this, okay? If these atrocities that we have, are you desensitized to it? Because I know you're thinking like, dang, you're talking about gun control. Because I'm really not talking about gun control. Once again, I'm leading into the point. It kind of makes sense. And are these atrocities, are we used to it? Are we used to people getting shot? Are we used to waking up and looking in the news and expecting to hear about somebody getting shot? I believe that we are used to it. I believe that we are desensitized. So answer me this question. There's a show that comes out, I think it's coming back out, called The Purge. There's like 2 or 3 movies, and I saw 2 of them. I just happened to watch the last one, which was the original Purge, and that kind of set the tone for me understanding what the Purge actually was. Because people who don't pay attention to history, they let it repeat itself and they say, oh, this is brand new. No, it's not brand new. It's not brand new. So ask yourself this. You blamed, well, do we still blame rap lyrics for people getting gunned down? Do we still blame video games like Grand Theft Auto and Ghost Recon and other things, which I play Ghost Recon all the time? You can find me on Ghost Recon Xbox One, Chosen Ill. That's CHOZEN space ILL. That's again, Chosen Ill. But anyway, that's my little shout out if you play Ghost Recon or any type of games on Xbox One. Yes, I am an avid gamer. I love games. But anyway, are we saying that these kind of games and TV shows and lyrics, are these what make us violent? I'm like this. If you really looked at the initial Purge was about getting rid of the lower income people. Black, mostly, maybe Hispanic, but it was more on the point of getting rid of the lower income people. Okay. Then you have to look at it in another perspective. Then it goes worldwide or United States wide. But think about it. If a purge started off to get rid of low income people, have you ever heard of a realistic situation like that? See, first of all, I don't appreciate the Purge, and I don't like the TV show, the movies, the Purge, because to me, that is something that could probably happen. Hell, we have a president who has committed treason and is trying to justify the fact that he's committed treason. So you tell me he gets away with this, that he potentially couldn't get away with creating something such as the Purge? Because since he's taken office, let me check my facts here real quick. Since he's taken office, hate crimes have increased. So check this out. The number of incidents involving hate crimes increased for a 3rd straight year in 2017, according to the FBI data released in November, by 17% in 2017 compared to 2016. Okay, we have more hate crimes. We have people more, they're empowered by this man. This is not an anti-Trump thing, but I'm just saying how one polarizing figure, one person who butts the systems, or butt the system, that's what it's called, whatever. You have one person who's standing there doing what he wants to do, saying what he wants to say, makes racist statements through Twitter, and he's still there. How do you have a racist president who's supposed to represent all of us? But he tells people to go back to their shithole countries, or tells a bunch of black Democrat, not a bunch, but 4 black and other Democratic officials to go back to their country. That is hate speech, my G. That is hate speech. Don't you understand? That is hate speech. But he get away with it, So I believe, and call me crazy, if you watch a lot of TV, if you do, because I do watch a lot of TV, but if you watch a lot of TV, you're gonna see that like in the movies or basically like a lot of futuristic shows are driven by TV. The way they reach the masses is through TV. They're showing how to be a good citizen through TV. This right here, through TV, Running Man, Starship Troopers, things were driven through TV. So understand this. MTV, which I really don't have any beef or qualms with it, but they're taking things that we used to say was wrong or not a good thing and make it into, hey, this is acceptable. Let's just put it on TV. And I'm not going to get into the gay and the LBGT. I'm not getting to that. But what I am talking about is we're saying, okay, it's okay to be a teen mom and get pregnant. It's okay. But for years and years and years, everybody used to hammer talking about how black women are riding the system. Okay, well, maybe MTV is paying these little white girls to be teen moms. Girls are getting pregnant so they can be on Teen Mom. Now we got Teen Mom OG. Really? Are you serious? So here's my point. This is what I'm getting at. Pay attention to what your kids are watching. Pay attention to what's going on in the news. Pay attention because history does repeat itself. It does repeat itself. And I'll say this because this is getting a little bit long. You know, TV will make certain things acceptable. The more we say, you know what, it's not a big deal, the more likely it's going to become a norm. Just saying, think about it. The Purge, it gets under my skin because to me, I honestly feel that is a means of destroying a culture, a means of destroying a financial level, meaning, a financial class, lower class, middle class, high class, because we're having, how do we save money? Do you know, and this is a fact, whenever our country was in a serious financial situation, we tend to go to war. And what does that do? One is a population control, because we're losing a whole lot of men. Period. Black, white, other. Doesn't matter. Population control. Financially, everything is driven. We have been almost in a state of war for over 10 years. For a long time. I can honestly say when I joined the Army in 1988, I was training to go to Honduras. Subsequently trained and deployed for Panama. I was always dealing with some form of going to combat since 1988 all the way up to 2012, which my last deployment was in 2008, 18-month deployment to Iraq. So understand this. Our country has been in a constant state of war, drumming up money. But the fact of the matter is, because we've been in a constant state of war, it's not new that we hear about people dying overseas. It's no longer new to us. We become desensitized to it. You understand? So it's okay. It's fine. We have a president who's never been to combat. We have a president who's never been in the military. We've had a couple of presidents who've never been in the military, which I personally believe in order to be president, you should have been in the military. So when you make a decision that affects the military, you understand the effect or the trickle-down effect that you're causing. That's how I feel, but that's my own personal belief. And sue me. But the bottom line is this. The more we let TV influence our culture, because if you really look at it, and maybe I could touch upon that on my next podcast, the more things become a norm. So I'll put you like this, and I don't mean to be rude, I don't mean to be funny, but Biggie, Tupac, and now Joshua Brown. Cold case. I guarantee they're not going to find out because I'm pretty sure it was the police that were involved. But with that being said, this is your host, Brian Matthews, Psychologics. Thanks for joining through. We're going to keep on pushing. Hey, this last podcast we had, we drove those numbers up of subscribers. Keep telling your friends. I'm going to keep pushing this content out. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Once again, like, subscribe, add, share. If you can't watch the video, I have 7, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 7 podcasting host sites. You can follow this link right here, and it'll take you to the main one. Once again, thanks a lot, and y'all have a great day.
The revolution will be live.